Soon, when Johnny asks, "Where did I come from?" if he was one of the some 84,000 Dallas babies born here in the old St. Paul Hospital, there won't be a handy building to point to him. Dallas's first general hospital, begun in 1896, will be demolished. The mammoth old red brick structure has been vacant since 1963, when St. Paul moved into its new modern building on Inwood. But in its 72 years, a lot of history, of ordinary people and of larger events, centered here. In 1918, 45 Army tents dotted the lawns during the flu epidemic that ravaged the Southwest. St. Paul was then the official U.S. government hospital for the soldiers at nearby Camp Dick, and after all the rooms and corridors were filled, the tents had to be put up. A soup kitchen run by the sisters in 1920 served some 10,000 starving Latin Americans who had come to Texas looking for work. And a 5-alarm fire, which broke out on the top floor of the main building in 1951, made national headlines when not one of the nearly 400 people in the building was injured. From the time that the building itself first opened in 1898 until its close, it grew from an original 110-bed size to space for 395 beds. But the problem for St. Paul's, as well as for any of the other groups which have considered uses for the old building since 1963, has not been bed space, but rather a lack of modern laboratory and service facilities. This structure of a century past was the site of innumerable fights for life. But unlike old soldiers, old hospitals don't fade away. They must be torn down. Teal Salon, Channel 8 News.
If it were rigged, we would have had control over who was on, how long they were on. They would have been given the answers. The Randolph Churchill, whom we would like to have kept on for, 6 or 7 weeks, blew the second question for $128. So.
Will those kind of shows come back?
I think possibly, Teal, because...
The $4,000 question?
No, I might try 128. I've gotten bigger.
The structure that served as the classic answer to countless "where did I come from" questions will soon be no more. The building in which some 84,000 babies have been born since 1898, the old St. Paul Hospital, will be demolished. A 5-alarm fire which broke out on the top floor of the main building in 1951 made national headlines as one complete floor was destroyed, but not one of the almost 400 people in the building was injured. But since 1963, this building has been empty. The problem for St. Paul's, as well as for all the other groups that have considered uses for the 395-bed area, is not space, but rather a lack of modern laboratory and service facilities. The building belongs to an era past, so the site of innumerable fights for life, unlike an old soldier, won't fade away. It must be torn down. Teal Salon, reporting.
There's a shortage of formats. I think there's only so many things you can do in a half hour on television. and they're running out of them. There were too many half-hour situation comedies. They got kind of dull. They all began to look alike. They all began to sound alike. The wife, the husband, the couple next door, and the two rotten kids, you know.